I began my Storm of the Stratagems KvK 2 days ago, and the most interesting part of it has to be the stratagems, with crazy stuff like gathering crystals on the map, extra bastion quests, absolutely insane some of the extra stuff you can get, just some stratagems which are literally free. So today, I will discuss how you can use them properly, because if you are using stratagems wrong, you will not be using them to your full potential. So first, I'll discuss how folios work, when you unlock them, how to unlock them. I'll discuss which stratagems are actually top of their category, how each category works. And finally, I'll give you some very, very good early game build advice for building a stratagem build, and some advice you can carry on throughout the rest when you're building your actual stratagem builds, which are going to be more account based. So if you want to get full potential from the stratagems for free, you definitely want to check out the rest of the video. Let's begin by discussing how folios work, and folios are the way you can choose which stratagems you get to equip. So you can see here, I currently have the beginner folio, and I have 4 slots available, and so I have 4 stratagems on. If you go further down the line, you can see the further in you get, the more stratagems you get access to, and you will notice that some folios have different colors. Each color corresponds to a stratagem type, whether it be leadership, warfare, support, or universal. Leadership is red, warfare is purple, support is green, and then universal is like this weird triad of all the colors, I guess. Now, how do you unlock the folios? Well, the folios will come with your Lost Kingdom Chronicles. The further in your Chronicles you get, the more folios you will unlock. So you get 2 chances to unlock more folios. First of all, you will get 3 folios at the Revenge of your Lost Kingdoms Chronicle, which is basically when Pass 4 becomes semi-protected. You can see here, you get access to 2 stratagem folios. Then you will also get access to another 2 at the Siege of the Land, which are going to be your main folios at the end of the game. This will be just after Pass 7 or just before Pass 7 opens, and they're going to give you the major buffs. You will also get 1 folio at the beginning of your KvK for free, for nothing. Like all the folios, they are free, but you get the beginner's folio just by joining the KvK itself. So that is one just fair bonus right there. You don't have to wait for anything. They come instantly. And the second you go into your KvK, you can select a bunch of stratagems. The thing to know with folios is that some are going to be more open field related, while some are not going to be. The beginner's folio is the only one that has no specialty, and in my opinion, it's the worst one, purely because when you look at the beginner's folio, you'll notice that it hasn't got any extra slots. It is only 4 slots, where if you look at something like Battlemaster's folio, it has 6 slots. It's got 2 extra slots, and it can easily make up for the missing in support with the universals. So what happens is the beginner's folio, once you get any of the other folios, becomes useless. The strategist folio is for the open field. The provisioner's folio is for those resting periods in between your open field battles. The battlemaster's folio is for the open field, and the guardian's folio is for those resting periods in between open field battles. That is the really simple way to put it. And once you're first entering a pastoral battle, I recommend getting strategist folio. Once you win or lose, use the provisioner's folio. Then once you enter your past 7 battles, switch back to that battlemaster's folio. And then if you win or lose, then switch back to the guardian's folio for your end of your KvK battles. Now, as you saw before, each folio has 4 different categories. And you can see here on screen, there are the 4 categories. You've got leadership, warfare, support, and universal. And the way each one works, in just a quick gist, leadership are going to give you some type of a powerful boost that can be really, really boosted by the warfare. So whenever you're running a leadership one, they're not going to be very powerful on their own. So for example here, decisive battle is going to allow you to increase your all damage and the opponent's all damage by 1% every 20 seconds. That is pretty much useless unless you're in a past battle that's going to last hours for you to really get that to a point where it matters. But if you use the correct card with it, so if I were to use the decisive battle, which has that 1% all damage boost, and I also ran the battle tested, that's now every 5 seconds that 1% all damage boost, cutting it down by 3/4. That is a major decrease, and that's going to make it way more effective and actually useful. So you can see right off the bat, leadership folios by themselves aren't very good. Put them with a warfare folio, then they become extremely good. And warfare folios also can provide just straight up stats. For example, breakneck right here can give you 10% troop march speed, which is nice. Next thing to note is there are support folios as well. These are folios which are going to give you something either open field related but not directly in terms of your trades, or they're going to give you something crystal related. For example, getting an extra bastion quest, or actually getting crystals when you gather resources. So support is really not going to change how you trade on the open field, besides like 1 heart, 1 mind, which is going to give you 3% extra all damage if you're a field troop. That's really the only difference in the support category. And everything else here is really just related to economic stuff. For example, hospital cost reduction, hospital capacity increases. Nothing here is really directly influencing the open field. Now, what are really big standouts from each category? And we'll begin with the leadership category. The surprising strike and fierce assault, to me, in like right now looking at it, seem to be the most powerful and most consistent open field stratagems. If you were just running pure open field, they seem to be extremely powerful and they'll be very consistent, allowing you to deal up to 700 extra damage factor on surprising strike, and then also fierce assault depends on how many people you hit with AoE. So right off the bat, fierce assault and surprising strike both look like two extremely powerful leadership skills which can be taken onto the open field. As for rallying garrison, City of Bane actually looks really good for rallies. It allows you to actually damage the flag even if you aren't directly burning it. So that is one really powerful stratagem. If you can take out 100,000 troops within, I think it's around 5 seconds every single turn, I think it is, I guess that's what it means, you'll be able to reduce the durability of a flag by up to 50, which is actually really nice. That means if you do it correctly, you could actually reduce a flag by a fairly large margin. For example, let's say you had a rally that went on for quite a while into a flag, even a fort. You're going to notice that if you keep that rally going, that flag will eventually die. Obviously, it will take a while, but eventually that flag's either going to go down or you're going to win and lose the rally, but the flag's definitely going to have lost a chunk of durability. So I really like that City of Bane, and then you compare that quite well with one of the warfare cards, which allows you to deal extra damage to buildings, which is going to be your siege engines. It's going to allow you to deal an extra point of damage on top of the damage you'll be already dealing due to the City of Bane. But you have to have City of Bane for siege engines to actually work. Then also I really like if you're getting more reinforcements than your opponent and you have more open field presence, Decisive Battle. Decisive Battle is going to allow you to deal 1% more all damage every 5 seconds if you put it with the Warfare card, which I showed you before. But this does come with a downside. This 1% more all damage is also given to your opponent. So your opponent deals more damage to you and you deal more damage to them. So you really want to have more units on the open field when you are doing this, because you'll be able to deal a crazy amount of damage. That's going to exponentially increase if you are able to constantly fill up a rally or constantly fill up a garrison. That's when Decisive Battle becomes extremely good. If you are not able to fill up a rally or fill up a garrison fully, or maybe you're struggling to fully reinforce it, do not use Decisive Battle. If it's a short rally, do not use Decisive Battle. This is really good for forts. This is really good for passes, massive cities. That's when this becomes extremely strong. Otherwise, it is nowhere near as powerful. The second last one I'd really like to mention from the leadership category is the close ranks. Really good if you are swarming stuff constantly, whether it be a rally or a garrison. The way this works is if you're swarming something with 300% more units than yourself, often a rally or a garrison is going to have like 2 million, so that's going to be way more than an open field march. You can take up to a 10% reduction in the amount of sev wounds you take, which is crazy good. Often swarms on rallies and garrisons already trade positive if you do them correct, and if you do this even better, you're going to take less deads and less sev wounds. So really good if you're swarming down enemies that are going to have a ton of troops. Not very useful for the open field itself. Often you will not be attacking people who have 300% more units than you, and even if they do, you're completely screwed anyway, so you wouldn't be fighting them. So I highly recommend only using close ranks if you find you're swarming stuff a lot, and then you would pair that with the not one step back, which actually changes that 1% sev wound reduction per unit swarming to a 1.5%. Final thing I'd like to mention is the Warrior's Unbound artifact is also available if you use it as a leadership skill, and you can get a 5%, nice 5% all damage bonus if you use the Inspired skill as well. As for standouts in the Warfare, obviously, depending on whatever leadership you run, that's going to be definitely reliant. So you can see I'm running Fierce Assault. Proven Valor becomes really good because it halves the cooldown on Fierce Assault. Also, Blood in the Water makes it really good because if I defeat an enemy troop, then the cooldown gets completely removed. So, depending on what leadership you're running, it is definitely going to be a standout warfare. You will get recommended by the game which one is stronger, and you'll be able to read it, decide which one you prefer for yourself. If you find you're often defeating troops, you run Blood in the Water. If you aren't defeating troops, then you run Proven Valor. And then there's also a few standouts that just are like nice when you're not really fighting. For example, right now, I should be running Breakneck. I swapped it when I was doing my first rendition of this recording. So Breakneck, you could be running Breakneck, and that's going to be really nice. Just free 10% march speed. If you find you're very slow, that's also a nice way to speed that up. As for support, here's where you get the most standouts. I really like the Gathering for when you're not really fighting. I really like the Bastion quest when you're not fighting. I'm a big fan of makeshift splints. If you're using a ton of resources, you can save ridiculous amounts. So make sure if you're in the open field, run makeshift splints, and make sure you run triage. Those are the two most powerful stratagems, in my opinion, for open field. You might be thinking, well, these other ones make you deal more damage. Trust me, the economic side of Rise of Kingdoms is what's going to keep you on the open field. So makeshift splints easily is the most powerful open field thing in the whole entire game, and triage adds even less sevs you're going to take. So if you're on the open field, run triage, run makeshift splints. If you can only run one of them, run triage. It's going to save you more stuff, but they are definitely easily the two most powerful support things for open field. And then the Bastion quest and also the resourceful are going to be the two most powerful things when you're not on the open field. So the support tree is easily the most powerful section of the stratagems in terms of what it can actually give you. It is insane how strong it truly is. Now, the final thing I will discuss is the best beginning build I can give you, because when you first enter, the most important thing you can do in any KvK is get as many crystals as you can, as fast as you can, so you can get an exponential increase on your opponents, because you'll be able to fly through a bunch of that early technology, which I should be working on right now. I have a ton of crystals in the overflow, and that means since I'll be flying through the technology, I will get more crystals for my Bastion quest, which means I can get more technology, which can increase the amount of crystals I get even more, and then you will get a massive increase in the amount of crystals you will get compared to the people you're fighting against. So first thing when you enter KvK, you need the correct stratagems. Instantly put on these two stratagems. First of all, you go straight down to support section. For your support slot, put resourceful. You're going to get another maybe up to 200,000 crystals by the time your pass 4 opens, and you want those million crystals as quick as you can get them. The faster you get those million, the better, because if you can get a million crystals really quickly, you're a million crystals ahead of everyone else who didn't have resourceful on. Then overtime pay is amazing, because the way you reset stratagems is through getting these stratagem points. The way you get them is through Bastion quests. So having an extra Bastion quest means you get 15 more of these coins, plus you also get more crystals and more favor. So your main build for the really early part of your KvK, instantly put resourceful, instantly put overtime pay. The leadership in warfare is up to you depending on what troops you run, depending on how you want to run them. And then you will also get a chance to switch this for free when your pass 4 first open. You can switch it to a strategist build for war or a provisionist build if you are currently not fighting. So that is what you would do. Start off with the beginner's folio, use the gathering and also the extra Bastion quest, and then go and switch your folio once your pass 4 opens. In terms of actually switching a folio or a stratagem mid KvK, you get a free chance to switch it every 70 hours. That includes your folio and any stratagem. So if you want to switch your folio and switch to stratagems, you can do that once for free every 70 hours. If you want to switch your stratagems or folios after that, you'll have to pay 200 coins the first time, 200 of the stratagem points, and then you'll have to pay 400 the second time. You get 2 chances to spend those coins every 70 hours, and then you can reset your stratagems. The only way you can get those coins from my knowledge currently is through Bastion Quest. Really easy to get them. You can get upwards of, I think it's like 330 per day, so that is a really nice amount you can easily get, and it's not too difficult. You can easily just smash these Bastion quests out. If you have the extra one, you get the 330. If you don't, it's like 315. So try and get all your Bastion quests done so you can A, get a ton of crystals, which is just typical knowledge, and B, get as many of these stratagem points as you can, because if you're mid-fighting, you're definitely going to be switching around these stratagems to either heal your hospital, or maybe you want to try something different. Really good to have those coins in the overflow when you first enter combat. Now, this wouldn't be an Archer Syndicate video if I didn't put my opinion out there on stratagems, and the simple answer of what I think of them is they are amazing. They are probably the best addition to any KvK by far. They allow people to fight for longer by allowing you to have reduced hospital costs and reduced sevs. They allow us to get some unique buffs which are going to change open field in some way that is not mundane, like you can now have extra skills on your troops, or you can add a relic that no one used, even though the relic is still there for the people who like it. The artifacts which allow you to switch troops. And then there's also things for whales in here that are still free to play. A whale can go and get City of Bane if they want to rally, and then a free-to-play can go get Surprise Strike, and there's no difference in cost there. Free-to-play could go and get City of Bane if they so chose, and then a whale could get Surprise Strike. There's no hierarchy or difference between the whales and free-to-plays here. Everyone gets to enjoy it, and it's very equal. It is all up to you how you want to run it. It's all up to you if you do good or bad, depending on how the stratagems do. So if you choose the correct ones, you're obviously going to do better than some players. If you choose the wrong ones, you're going to do worse than some players. So this is more of a skill and knowledge-based system, rather than a spend money or grind the game for 60 hours kind of system. Obviously, there's a little bit of grinding here with Bastion Quest, but everyone does their Bastion Quest anyway, so I'm not too fussed by it, especially since we are getting an extra Bastion Quest. You probably want to use that every single day. So I definitely really like stratagems, and I think they are a really great addition to this already extremely interesting KvK with like instant counter rallies and crazy stuff like that. So that's all to do with stratagems, and I'm really interested to see how my KvK plays out. So if you're interested in my KvK, you want to know how it goes, you want to see how are these stratagems working out for some fairly large kingdoms, as in these alliances have massive kill points for the size they are. There's going to be some real crazy fighting in this zone right here, and if you want to see me stream it live, because I may be streaming it live, you definitely want to join the Archer Syndicate Discord, where you can be kept up on all news Rise of Kingdoms based, all news Archer Syndicate channel based, And also you can see when I go live, ask me questions, and speak to fellow channel members. It is a really, really cool place. And if you want to join, the link will be in the pinned comment and in the description. Now I just want to say thank you much, to see you in the next one.